So, good evening, and welcome along to the brand new series of The Big Show here on NVTV. And here we are, pretty much the same as we were last year.
Yeah, I know. It's bizarre, isn't it? We're in 2021. How did we get here?
I know. Back in lockdown once again, and it looks like we're going to be stuck in our living room doing the show until at least the 5th of March now as well.
Yeah, and I was so looking forward to getting into the studio.
Yeah. But anyway,
here we are.
We got a fabulous show lined up for you tonight. We're going to be talking to consumer champion Alice Beer. She'll be joining us, telling us how we can work out our finances in 2021.
We've got music from The Rising and singer-songwriter Emily McCallum.
And we're going to be digging into the archives and looking at some great clips featuring Scottish actor Andy Gray and also the great Liam Riley from Bagatelle. But starting things off on The Big Show, we're going to be chatting to media commentator Anthony Miller, who joins us live from his home. And we'll take a look back at some of the more kind of unusual news stories that have hit the online stuff for the newspapers this week. Anthony Miller, how are you?
I'm very well, and I'm all the better for seeing you too. Look at you, lovely and rosy. What a wonderful tonic for January. I mean, everybody should have you in their diet in January. Absolutely.
It's great to see you. Do you know, it's been too long. It really has, hasn't it?
I was just thinking that as we were waiting to come on air, I was just thinking, actually, gosh, when was the last time I actually saw you? It's years. It's literally years, isn't it?
It's years since we've done this. We met very briefly recently in a hotel in Antrim.
Yes, we did. That's right. In between the lockdowns. That's right. Yes, I was in for lunch with the family.
Indeed, but today you're at home in England at the moment, aren't you?
No, I'm in Ireland. As soon as I got a sniff of another lockdown, I was straight over to the family homestead once more. I ran towards it like there was a bog off sale at a Chinese takeaway. Couldn't get here quick enough, honestly.
I don't blame you.
So what's the whole lockdown situation been like for you? How are you coping with it?
I'm doing okay. I've been working a lot, so that's kept me busy. And then I, as I tend to do when I even get slightly bored, I've been decorating. So my poor mum has had to put up with me deciding on colour palettes and furniture changes and all sorts. So yeah, that's what I've been doing to keep busy.
What about binge watching shows? We've been watching probably more TV than we've ever watched ever before.
Haven't seen a lot of telly, actually, if I'm honest. I know that there's the new series, Bridgerton and whatnot, that I want to see. I'm already in love with the character, by the way.
Anthony, you have got to watch it. Listen, your mouth will be dribbling when you watch Lord Simon Hastings. He is sex on legs.
I'm already in love. It was love at first sight. No talking required.
No.
And of course, good news for Bridgerton fans has been revealed yesterday. It is coming back for season number 2 as well.
Okay, happy days. So I need to catch up on season 1 then before we get into season 2, obviously.
Definitely.
And I was reading here as well, all thanks to the series, sales of embroidery products and stitching kits have gone up since Bridgerton launched on Christmas Day. According to eBay, interest in corsets as well have soared by 39%, headbands 25%, lace tops by 37%, and crystal earrings by 34%.
Well, do you know what? I can understand the corsets, but the only thing that I would be wanting to do if I had Lord Hastings would be whipping that corset off, Robin. Sorry. Sewing? Who wants to be sewing?
Make it go away. Make the pictures go away.
So you've got an obsession with Hastings then, right?
Oh, yes.
And Anthony, I was stalking your Facebook page the other day as well. Did I read this correct that you once had a crush on Dennis Waterman?
I could be so good for you.
Yeah, massive crush. I would have been straight down the Winchester for a Baby Sham and a slow dance. Not a problem with good old. And it would be no kiss and tell, I can tell you. What goes on with tell stays with tell.
Well, what about now? Would you like a little date now?
Well, I haven't seen recently what they look like now, so that could be different. Who knows? But certainly, if we had a time machine, I'd be more than happy to go back. Kind of like the bras thing. Everybody loved bras back in the 90s, but maybe not so much now.
All right. What's been catching your eye online this week then?
Okay, so it would have been really obvious to go with the presidential stuff happening in the United States, but you know that I'm not really obvious, okay? So I went quirky instead.
Why not? Yeah.
Absolutely. So I was thinking about lockdown and thinking about all the things that we do and don't do whilst we're in lockdown. And I've come across a chap who has changed his name to Celine Dion after having far too much to drink.
Oh my goodness, that could be quite complicated.
I kid you not, a 30-year-old man decided to change his name to Celine Dion after having a few too many glasses of wine. Thomas Dodd, otherwise known now as Celine, had the idea while watching one of the Canadian singer's concerts on YouTube over Christmas. He thought it would be a great idea to pay £89 to officially take her name, but completely forgot about it when the official deed poll documents landed on his doorstep this Wednesday. Once you receive your papers, you need to sign them before an independent witness and inform your relevant record holders before your name is considered changed. So yes, it is a complicated process. You'd think perhaps he'd have sobered up by now. But Thomas has no plans to go back in his decision and hopes it might get him backstage at one of his idol's future gigs. So there you go. There's easier way to get tickets, I'm sure.
There is, but I'm just thinking, after a lot of glasses of wine, the last thing I'd be thinking about, or the last thing I'd be capable of doing, is logging online, contacting deed poll, and started filling in forms.
I know, it's a strange one.
I've been on drinking sessions with you guys once or 10 times, right? Can you imagine if we changed our name every time we did it? I mean, talk about double barrel. I mean, what's the equivalent of 100 barrel?
If I've had too many drinks, I can just about get my name out.
This is true. Yeah, so that was a bit of a mad one. I thought, oh dear, we better not drink too much over lockdown. Goodness knows who we'll end up being.
All right, now I want to move on to this one. And if you're reading The Sun during the week, you may have seen these bizarre photographs of these men and women sniffing each other's backsides. Right, these adverts appeared to promote, wait for this, to promote flatulence pants. Okay, a company called Shreddies has designed the unisex underwear to absorb odours so you can, as they put it, fart with confidence. Now, the garments are lined with a carbon fabric called Zorflex, which absorb and neutralise nasty odours. Okay, simply washing the pants here, it says, reactivates the cloth so it doesn't lose its effectiveness. And you can also get flatulence jeans, nightwear, and underwear for children as well.
I have heard it all.
Wow, well, do you know, pre-COVID, we used to cough to hide a fart. Now we're farting to hide a cough, really, aren't we? Because we're all petrified somebody's going to think we've got COVID, the fear of it. But I'm just thinking, actually, Pauline, having been on a few sessions with yourself, maybe you should invest.
But you know something, I have to say, Anthony, you know, I actually do think that I fart confidently because, as they always say that if your farts are loud, which mine are very loud, they don't smell. It's the silent ones you have to worry about.
Right, okay.
Would you not agree?
Yep.
Silent but deadly. Yeah, the SBDs. It's actually have a name, SBDs.
Yeah, no, I think that if I was out and I had silent ones, you know, I definitely would invest in those.
Right, okay, we're going to stay with clothing for a bit as well, and there was a poll carried out this week about how often you wash your jeans, okay? So, Ant, how often would you throw yours in the wash?
So, of course, what I'm supposed to say is every time I wear them, because that would make me look fabulous and, you know, really good at housework and all the rest. But the truth is, until I decide to put on a different color, really, will be the idea. So I've got my favorite navy jeans, which walk to me in the morning quite often. But I would say, on average, I'm probably doing 3 to 5 wears before they're getting washed.
3 to 5. Okay, for me, it's usually when you tell me to take them off and put them in the wash.
Yes, because again, they could be walking out the door, never mind towards Robin. Yes.
And what about you?
Well, I don't really wear jeans an awful lot, but I would probably 2 or 3 times I would wear them, definitely.
Okay, we'll ask the people behind the cameras here as well. Nathan, who's on camera, how often do you wash your jeans?
Whenever the missus tells me.
And Chloe is still with us as well. Chloe, how often?
Well, I'm a bit of a freak and I wash mine every single time I wear them.
Yeah.
I don't think it makes sense to you to wash them after every single wear, though.
Thing is, actually,
Because according to this survey, the average bloke wears his jeans 15 times before their monthly wash. Women wash their denims once a fortnight, having worn a pair about 6 times.
So I'm doing well then, 2 or 3 times.
the thing is, Robin, and this is going to back you up. Whenever denim was first brought in as clothing, it was actually utility wear, and you were never supposed to wash it. You didn't wash denim.
That's right. Yeah, I remember that actually, because there's denim is such a thick material. There was something in it that it doesn't make sense. And actually, the more you wash it, I think there's something about that material. It starts to go hard, I think.
Yeah.
You know.
All right. Moving on. What else have you got for us?
You know that we have all these people that are finding Jesus's face in Brussels sprouts, and you know, I opened my margarine and there was Celine Dion or such like. Maybe it was Tommy masking as Celine Dion. Well, actually, a chap has found Cookie Monster's face inside a stone, and it is worth £7,300.
Wow.
Wowee.
Yeah, footage of the unusual rock was posted on social media by Mike Bowers, a specialist in agate stones, accompanied by the iconic children's TV character singing about the letter C. A geologist who found a lump bears an uncanny resemblance to the Cookie Monster could make an eye-watering £7,300 from its sale. So there you go. It was volcanic rock, which was reportedly first taken from the Rio Grande do Sul near the Soledade region in Brazil. So we all need to go collecting stones in Brazil, I think.
Oh my goodness! If it's going to bring us in $7.5 grand, that would be amazing. But it doesn't give you any information on whether someone, you know, carved it, Cookie Monster, or whether it was just a coincidence.
I think he cut the stone open, and hey presto, Cookie Monster was there.
Wow, that's incredible.
That you think of it, that's the first sighting of the Cookie Monster.
The first. I like that you said the first. Actually.
The first sighting. He's been trapped in that rock for thousands of years.
He really is real.
Step away, Nessie. Cookie Monster's here to clean up. Yeah, wow. So there you go. So lockdown, you know, my whole thing has been lockdown. How do we make more money? How do we fill our time? How do we change our name when we're drinking? But yeah, there you go. Start looking through your stones. If you have stone collections, maybe you're sitting on a fortune.
Well, on that note, we're out of time. Anthony Miller, thank you so much for joining us on the show in our first new series.
Brilliant seeing you again.
Always a pleasure. Thank you so much for having me. And you know where I am, just shout. So anytime.
We'll see you soon, and we're going to take some music now, something brand new from one of the best country rock bands around with their brand new single, which is out this Friday. Here is The Rising.
So this is called Ain't Nobody Got Me Here But Me. I spent my last paycheck on a phone that didn't work. I spend all my days thinking how much it's gonna hurt when I call up my mother and ask her to lend a hand. Oh, what a life I'm living, and I'm just one man. But ain't nobody got me here but me. Ain't nobody care about the things I've lost to live my dreams, and I gotta take a backseat, let this car drive its course. 'Cause right now I'm begging on my knees, but ain't nobody got me here but me. I spend my time thinking of a way I can make it out of this black hole I've been digging right into the ground. I can't seem to find a bright light at the end of my story, and I could wish and I could pray for someone to set me free. But ain't nobody got me here but me. Ain't nobody care about the things I've lost to live my dreams, and I gotta take a backseat, let this car drive its course. 'Cause right now I'm begging on my knees, and ain't nobody got me here but me. Screaming at the top of my lungs, but no sound is coming out. Love isn't enough to get me through this time. No, I'm broken, I keep running on down that line. Oh, what a man. Oh, what a man. She spent her last paycheck on a six-string just for me. She don't have the money, but she did it anyway. And I can't even tell her, 'cause I don't have a plan. Oh, what a life I'm living for such a hard-working man. But ain't nobody got me here but me. Ain't nobody care about the things I've lost to live my dreams. And I gotta take a backseat, let this car drive its course. 'Cause right now I'm begging on my knees, and ain't nobody got me here but me. Nobody got me here. Nobody got me here. No, nobody got me here. Nobody got me here. No, nobody got me here. Nobody got me here. Ain't nobody got me here but me.
Great new song from The Rising, and we'll have some more live music later on from Emily McCallum, new singer-songwriter.
Now we're going to talk about our finances and taking back control of our finances in 2021. Consumer champion and TV presenter Alice Beer joins us now on the line, along with the head of digital transformation at Santander UK, Andy Warren. We're talking about some new research that shows how consumers are determined to take back control of their finances in 2021 after the uncertainty of last year. Alice, we'll start with you. I suppose January is a particularly stressful time for most people, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Especially global pandemic. Why not spend a little bit more at Christmas? Nobody's going to judge you for that. But actually, this was research carried out by Santander, and they were looking at how much people were in control of their finances and how much they wanted to be more in control, how much they were interested in their personal finance situation. And interestingly, it's good news that we really do as a nation want to start getting more engaged. We want to start having conversations, and the pandemic has forced that slightly because our finances have been thrown into disarray. Salaries have been curtailed, we've been furloughed, it's all got very chaotic and very scary. We have been forced to take our heads out of the sand and have conversations where we might have been scared to have them before. Even with our partners, just discussing money is a really hard thing to do. So this research has found a few silver linings of this hideous situation that we find ourselves in, and we're opening up about our finances, which is frankly the first step.
So what else does this research show? Mobile phone bills, I suppose, is the number one bill that everybody talks about, isn't it?
Well, mobile phone bills, household bills, utility bills, council tax bills. I think the scary thing is not one particular bill, but the fact that more than a third of Brits found themselves surprised by a bill that came in. And that's not really how we should be living our lives. I think in the days where an envelope came in through the door and it contained a bank statement and we just sort of filed it to one side because it made for very, very bleak reading, or boring reading at most, I think those days are gone. And now we have the wherewithal, which is what we want to talk about today, into having a greater insight into what's going on in our bank account, what's coming in each month, and more importantly, what's going out. Where is our spend? And can we be proactive about changing that. Like, are we spending too much on our phone bill, our mobile phone bill? Are we spending too much on our household bills? What we can do about that, but firstly, identifying where those overspends are.
Now, I have to admit, I'm one of those people who really doesn't know what's coming in and out of their bank accounts. I'm really bad at the whole money management thing and keeping trace of everything.
You're perfect for this then, Robin. You really are, because look, I'm a consumer journalist, but I'm far from perfect when it comes to managing finances. But I am also a very typical mobile phone user. So my phone is never very far from me. And on average, most of us will pick up our phone 58 times a day. Wow. So if you've got a tool that links you to your bank and is offering you help in organizing your finances without you having to get involved in spreadsheets and deep delving into the darkness of what you're spending your money on, it will do that calculating and working out and identifying patterns for you. Then this is the way to go. I really believe that, and I believe it's very important that we engage with whatever suits us. And for me, it's definitely my mobile phone. Whatever suits us to get engaged in our personal finances. We have a responsibility, because it's really bad for your mental health to feel so chaotic in one area of your life.
Well, talking about mobile phones and apps, Andy from Santander, you have a new money app, don't you?
Just what you articulated there, you're not on your own, myself included. It's keeping a good control on your finances is quite difficult, purely because we're spending more money, just maybe even in small little amounts. It can be very difficult just to see exactly what's going on, and our customers have told us this, and what we've built has been something that our customers have really helped us shape. Banks play a huge part in this. It isn't all down on the consumer to try and understand where they're spending their money. What we can really do is just to try and take away some of that hard work. Just very simply telling you how much you're spending in different places each month. Some of us, maybe myself included, have probably spent a bit more on takeaways in the last few months, maybe spent a bit more on Amazon. And My Money Manager, which is a new feature in our app, has actually helpfully reminded me of that. It's also told me that I spent more on my children at Christmas than we perhaps thought we had done as well. But those are the kind of things, and we joke, but I'm working at home at the moment. I've got a bit of a different background on my screen to you because I'm sat in my cold garage. But we were talking earlier. We haven't got as much time as we might think we have, and just removing some of that effort is really one of the first steps that we can take to help managing finances a lot easier. My Money Manager is, as I said, something in the mobile app. You just go straight in, click one button, and you're in. And all it will very simply do is just break down the information that's already there into just helpful little nudges and messages to tell you when your spending's changed, if your energy bill's gone up, as an example. One of the interesting things in the research was mobile phone bills were understood, but actually some of the bigger bills, like rent, council tax, energy, were the ones that people didn't know how much they were. And that's pretty scary, really. So, we hope that this is, the first step to try and help bring back some more control.
So if people want to get the app, where do they download it from?
So if you're already a Santander customer and you've already got the app, just switch it on, log in today. There's a little icon to help you do that. If you want more information on how to register or just understand more about what it is, just head across straight to santander.co.uk.
Alice, is this app something good for everyone?
Yeah, absolutely. And this is across the high street. Most banks will now, where they offer online banking, will offer some kind of money management tool within the app to whatever degree, be it putting money into a pot to save for a bill that comes out once a year, twice a year, that's quite big. And I think it's worth everybody having a look at their online account and saying, oh, what does my bank offer? I think this is for people who are hoping to organise and improve their finances. I think we do have to be aware that there are people who have slipped into debt, quite understandably, and absolutely not their fault in these concerning times. And they need a bigger degree of help to manage those debts. And they mustn't be afraid of being judged or blamed for the debt that they've got themselves into, but they must go and get it sorted and under control, because it is possible to get it under control. So yeah, have a look at your online bank today. If you're not online banking and you think it's something that is just insurmountable to get involved in, then just take it one step at a time. There are several security levels to get online, and maybe you, Robin, in the past have sort of started to get online banking and then thought, oh no, it's just too much hassle. Persevere, because once you're on, it's fine. It's just getting through those levels of security that have to be there to get engaged in the first place. And once you're there, it's very satisfying indeed.
Now, one of the things that I struggle with is the direct debits, knowing when they're coming in and out of your account, and then you have to have enough money to cover the direct debits, then you don't have enough money, then you're hit with these horrendous bank charges at the end of the year.
Absolutely. But if if you're online and picking up your phone regularly, it's not like sitting down and opening your bank statement at the end of the year. It's looking regularly and saying, oh goodness, look, I have slipped into bank charge territory. How can I avoid that? Well, actually, if I hadn't spent in that week of the month, then I wouldn't have slipped into overdraft territory. So it might not even be about stopping spending. It might be about moving around when you spend and what you're spending it on. And who wants to spend more on utility bills when you could be spending it on clothes and coffee? I mean, frankly.
Now, when it comes to online banking and these apps, a lot of people are worried about online fraud. I myself have been hit with the online fraud thing a couple of times over the past few years. Sadly, the fraud's on the increase, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely it is, yes. And it's not just online. You make a bank transfer payment, and we're all being forced out of our high street banks and online in a way because of the current circumstances. So it's more important than ever before to be aware of what's going in and out of your account, because if you notice something, you can alert your bank immediately and they can do something about it. And also, you must make yourself aware, and your bank will help you with this, when to identify a payment that you're about to make to somebody who is perhaps fraudulent on a website where they're not asking you for money through normal channels. They're asking for a bank transfer, which is harder to get back. Is the padlock on your search engine bar at the top? Lots of little clues that will help you to make a safe and secure payment online, and engage with your bank eagerly, regularly, so that you can see if something's going out that you don't know about, because it's too late if you leave it to opening a bank statement at the end of the month or the year. That's too late.
Now, Alice, of course, we're all back in lockdown once again, and I suppose now people will have more time to think about their finances, think about money management and planning for the year, won't they?
Well, some people have got more time, some people have got less time. And actually, I think these apps and tools are particularly for people who've generally got less time. But yeah, if you've got to, I always swear that I can switch somebody onto a better utility bill in the time it takes them to make and drink a cup of tea. So that could save you hundreds of pounds. That could be the most efficient cup of tea you've made this year. So work out how to switch your utility bill by going onto a site like USwitch or Martin Lewis's Money Saving Expert. Make yourself a cup of tea and save hundreds of pounds. Yay!
Well, Alice and Andy, sadly we're out of time, so thank you so much for joining us on the show.
Thank you.
Thank you, Robin.
Bye.
Thank you.
Well, now let's find out about a great new art competition for kids run by Little Northern Ireland. Let's go over to Chloe. She has the details.
Lidl's on the hunt for talented kids with a new kid art competition, with the lucky winner receiving a £500 Lidl gift voucher. Here's Angela Conan with more.
We're delighted to launch our brand new heavy-duty recycled plastic shopping bags this year, and we're calling on budding young artists across Northern Ireland to help give us them a stylish new design. We're asking kids with bags of style to draw on inspiration from the world around them and their own imagination to submit a sketch, drawing or painting of what sustainability means to them, choosing from the themes reduce, reuse or recycle. One lucky winner will receive a £500 gift card and see their design printed on all recyclable plastic bags and stocked within all 40 Lidl Northern Ireland stores from September.
So if you want to enter the competition and get creative, here's how.
Pop into your local Lidl Northern Ireland store from Monday the 25th of January. Pick up an entry form in-store or download via the competition website lidl-ni.co.uk/shopping-bags and get creative. It's a great activity to keep the kids entertained over the lockdown, and we hope that it sparks an important conversation around the over-reliance on plastic and encourage us all to rethink of how we use it.
Fantastic competition there from Chloe.
And coming up now, we've got this wonderful singer-songwriter, Emily McCallum, and she's only 16. Hello, Emily, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Very well, Emily. Listen, we had to get you on. We just absolutely love your song, Don't Try to Change Me. So tell me, where did the idea come from for that particular song?
Well, anything I'm going through or anytime I feel I'm overwhelmed, I go to the piano and I just channel it out in a positive, creative way.
That's really wonderful. So someone has been trying to change you then, do you think? Listen, what I love about it is the fact that it feels like you're speaking for all of us. I'm constantly singing it. Every time, you know, I listen to it or watch the video, I end up singing it all day. It is so catchy. So obviously you've done lots of work musically. Are you doing, exams in school? Is that where this is coming from?
Well, I kind of started writing songs when I was probably about 8. So I went in the recording studio when I was 8, and I only started properly being kind of professional with it when I was about 13. So lately, during lockdown, because it's a time, it's just been so crazy, you know, it's a time no one's experienced before. I just kind of started with the songwriting and went to the recording studio, and there we go.
Brilliant.
And of course, you come from a musical family as well. Your mum's a great singer as well, isn't she?
Yeah, It's music all the time in this house.
So it's not surprising then that you took it up. But what is your musical process then? Do you start with the piano to find the tune, or do you start with the words? What way do you do it?
I definitely say I start with the piano. Mm-hmm.
That's incredible. And then the words just come then?
Yeah, it just kind of comes as a flow, and sometimes I do put the words together with it first, or I'll just kind of make sure it all comes together. But usually I go to the piano first and it all kind of flows, and I'll record it and I'll put the lyrics together after.
Fantastic. So if you have been writing since you were 8 years old and you took it more serious at 13, you must have loads of songs to start getting out here.
Yeah, I do actually. I think I have about 30 or 50, and there's a lot on my phone, so I have no storage because I sit and I record them on my phone so I don't forget them. So yeah, there is loads.
And what made this one special to you? Was it just really apt for the time for you?
Yeah, I think it was the good timing of what was going on, and I think I just really liked that one, and it was the one I put the most effort into for it.
And I suppose the one good thing that's come out of the whole lockdown situation is given people like you a good opportunity to be more creative, hasn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
All right. So what's the kind of long-term goals now? Where would you love to see yourself further down the line?
I'd definitely love to become a musician and just start releasing songs and all about spreading like a good positive message to other people.
Okay, and of course, to do that, you need to have the backup. So I'm sure mum and dad are really pushing your qualifications, and so I'm sure with regards to, was it GCSEs this year? Have you skipped those? Okay.
I know that they're not going forward this year. I think it might be next year. Mm-hmm.
Okay, and when it comes to then performing and working, have you plans then to go on to train more in music, or is it the singing? Because I love your voice as well.
I think I was meant to be doing my grade 5 musical theatre this year, And I don't really know what's happening to that, but I plan on just working on my music and going to the recording studio to get more songs recorded soon.
Brilliant. Well, listen, good luck with that. I just loved it. You loved it too, didn't you, Rob?
It's a great song, and we're going to let everybody hear it right now. And I know after this you'll get plenty more hits on your YouTube and plenty more hits on your social media channels as well. Would you like to introduce your song?
Just Don't Try to Change Me.
Fabulous. Emily, thank you for joining us on the show.
Thank you once again.
Thank you.
Don't try to change me. Do you think I can't see? You're pulling on my DNA, trying to take it all away. But I can see through you like glass. We're not in pottery class. You cannot change the way I am. You think I'm fragile like a lamb. You see things in me that are not true, and there's really not a thing that I can do. So I'll try to tell you carefully, not saying you are ugly. It's not my fault. It's not my fault. So don't try to change me. You wanna shape me into something I can't be, and you're always saying how I am fake and cannot see. I'm walking on eggshells around you. There's nothing left that I can do. You cannot change the way I am. You think I'm fragile like a lamb. You see things in me that are not true, and there's really not a thing that I can do. So I'll try to tell you carefully, not saying you are ugly. It's not my fault. It's not my fault. So don't try to change me. Don't try to change me.
And that was a great new song from Emily McCallum, Don't Try to Change Me.
There really is so much great talent, as we always say, here in Northern Ireland, and once again there's some more proof, isn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, so unique, and yet everyone feels it. Like, I mean, straight away I'm singing it to you. Everything that you say, I'm singing it to you. Don't try to change me. It's like we just connect to it, and I think that everyone would just connect to that.
It's one of those songs that will get stuck in your head, and I bet after the show people are going to be singing that song at home.
Don't try to change me.
Right, we've been digging around the NVTV Big Show archives once again, and we've got a very special tribute coming up to the Scottish actor Andy Gray, who sadly passed away last week. He appeared in so many great shows over the years, the things like Rabsy Nesbitt and River City. You spent a lot of time, you lived and worked in Glasgow, so you must have come across Andy at some stage. I
did, and you know, he was a great friend to lots of people, lots of my friends, and a real loss to the Scottish community and TV in general, really.
Indeed, and of course here in Northern Ireland he made plenty of appearances in theatre productions here, especially at the Lyric Theatre. He was in a production of The Hypochondriacs, which I saw, and also The Miser, which was the last time that I caught up with Andy. So here I am talking to Andy and the cast of The Miser from quite a few years ago, and we ended up talking about Helensburgh. Have a look at this. Andy, the last time you were on the show was when The Hypochondriac was on.
That's right.
Of course, you're back again. Is it always good to get back to Belfast?
Very, always. I came back last October to do the reading for this, and I had a great time, and this has been just as good, if not better, than the last time. I loved it. I had a great time last time, and I'm loving this. It's great. I love Belfast, and I love the audiences as well, but I mean, I just like being here. It's great.
Obviously you're from Scotland, but is there any Irish blood in your system?
Yes, I think my grandmother came from... what do you mean, I think your grandmother? My grandmother came from Ireland, yes.
Yeah.
I don't know where, because she didn't tell me before she died, but she came from... And so I have got Irish blood in me, yes, definitely.
Right. I'm dying to know, can you do a good Belfast accent?
I don't know. I'm not going to try it now in front of these men that are around you, because I wouldn't try it. Stick it out.
They do have to master the Scottish accent in the play. Did you give them special tuition and training?
Actually, funnily enough, I didn't have to give anybody any training at all. They were amazingly adept at the accent right away. And I mean, there was no coaching required from me at all. It's fantastic.
Right.
I was very envious because had I to do a Belfast, I'd certainly have to get a bit of coaching, definitely. Yeah. But no, they were brilliant.
All right.
Rose to the occasion. Okay. Admirably. But they probably got a bit of Scottish blood in them, you see.
Have you? Have you got any Scottish blood in you?
I think I maybe do, actually. My granny, my mum's side of the family, from Perth, I think, possibly.
And that's my hometown as well. So there you go, we didn't know that, you see.
There you go. Any Scottish blood in you?
Well, ours a Scots-Irish name, so I would assume,
right.
That I think we're descended from cattle rustlers in Scotland.
Oh. Okay. And I do.
Yeah, I know them. They lived next door to us. Remember? What
pieces of work.
Apart from the noise, the smell.
All right. Well, I was born in Helensburgh.
It's a family tradition.
What about you? Any Scottish
Helensburgh? Helensburgh.
Oh, yeah, do you know well?
Jimmy Logan stayed in Helensburgh. Jimmy Logan, the famous comic. Yeah.
And Deborah Carr was born there.
That's right, Deborah Carr. That's right.
And John Logie Baird invented TV there.
Oh, that's right. Of course he did. And those submarines and nuclear weapons.
That's lovely.
Yeah.
Learning so much.
Great. It's marvellous. This is the Discovery Channel.
Some great memories there from the Big Show archive featuring Scottish actor Andy Gray, who sadly passed away recently. Now, talking about legends who have lost so far in 2021, I couldn't do this show without mentioning Liam Riley from Bagatelle, who of course passed away at the start of the year at the age of 65. I had the pleasure of seeing and working with Bagatelle many, many times over the years. And what can you say about Liam Riley? I mean, an absolute genius of a songwriter, and probably one of the greatest songwriters Ireland has ever seen, and one of the greatest musicians as well.
Gosh, yes. So many amazing songs, Robin. And you've mentioned a great musician, a great songwriter, but also an absolutely fantastic singer. I mean, incredible voice he had, and very unique.
Exactly, and of course, every time you're down in Dublin and you're walking along the Liffey, you can't help but hear the words of Summer in Dublin playing in your head, and then a 46A bus goes past and you kind of relive Summer in Dublin. That's how good that song was.
Again, it's sort of going back to what I said earlier. It's being able to connect to something, and he had that genius way of making us all feel like we were on that bus in Dublin.
Yeah.
And that's what is incredible.
And of course, there was more to Liam Riley than just Summer in Dublin. You had songs like Second Violin, you had Is It Raining in Paris, you had Trump Card, Leeson Street Lady, Love Is the Reason, Somewhere in Europe, and of course the Joe Dolan song as well, She Doesn't Live Here Anymore. Lots of great songs from Liam and Bagatelle.
Obviously, you can see that Robin was a big fan. I mean, I was a big fan too, but you know.
How can anybody not be a big fan of Bagatelle? So we'll dig into the archives now, and here's a time that I caught up with Liam Riley and of course Ken Doyle from Bagatelle as well. Here's what happened.
Hey Robin. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. So welcome back to Belfast. Is this part of the kind of 30th anniversary tour at the minute that you're on?
30th anniversary. Where did it all go wrong? It's actually quite amazing, certainly for me, to realise that we're 30 years playing and rocking in the free world. It's quite amazing.
And back then, back in 1978, did you ever think, my God, we'll still be on the road in 2008? Or do you think you'd all be dead by now?
If someone said that to me 30 years ago, I would have answered it with two words. One begins with an F and the other begins with an O. There might have been a will you ever before that.
So, of course, about 30 years as well since Summer in Dublin. And when you guys wrote that song and first recorded it, did you ever imagine how big that song was going to become?
No, absolutely not. I don't think anybody ever knows how far or how wide a song is going to spread.
Yeah.
So you were saying about, did you think we'd last 30 years? We didn't know if we'd last till 1979, never mind, 2009 almost, so it's incredible.
Like bands aren't really like companies, where companies get together and they're projected figures and all. I mean, just get together and play a few tunes, and then if somebody likes what you're doing, hey presto, you could, and if you can overcome the difficulties that occur within the relationships that people have when they tour together and, live on top of each other and all that, which we have managed to do over the course of our 30 years.
I was talking to a young guy there recently. He'd started a band and he was asking me for, general guidelines, and I just said, just stick to,
get a job.
Just do whatever, you play the music that you like, do whatever you like. Anyway, after a while, I asked him how the band was going. He said, well, we gave it up. And I said, why? He said, the pressures were far too much and living in each other's ear and all that. And how long were you going on? He said, 6 months.
And that is probably the first 6 months can be a hard time because everybody's trying to get to know everybody else and everybody else's idiosyncrasies and stuff like that.
And was the first 6 months tough for you guys? Or how did you two actually meet each other in the beginning?
We actually, believe it or not, I was in a previous band, and sometimes Liam would get up and play piano with us. We actually never even knew him by name. He'd just get up and play piano. He'd kind of sit in with the band, and that's like before he ever got near Bagatelle, we kind of knew each other.
Yeah.
In fact, when he came down to actually join the band, I said, him! Because I had known him. It's just quite an incredible thing.
All right, and what about the songs as well? The songs like Summer in Dublin, are they all autobiographical? Are they all real life stories that have inspired you to write those songs, Liam?
I'll let you ask him.
Yeah.
Summer in Dublin was a day in the life, really. It actually happened, every piece of it.
Oh, wow.
Including the drunk on the bus and everything. It just actually happened to me in one day in Dublin.
Brilliant.
He didn't listen to me, by the way. I'll tell you how to get rich.
The scariest story about that is that it was, I wrote it in a notebook and dumped it into a cardboard box because I was moving apartments at flats at the time. And I found it 2 years later in a box and put music to it then. Oh, wow. So it almost wasn't a song ever. So
we've only found this out recently when Liam explained that it almost didn't get born, Summer in Dublin.
Really?
I mean, it was really, when he explained when he was moving, when you're moving flat and all that, how easy it is to lose stuff. I mean, it could have been just gone for it. There was no music to it. He only had the lyrics.
Yeah.
It's only when he refound it, he put the music to it.
So that's the way it is. Thank God for cardboard boxes.
And of course, it must be great as well that Bono actually said that Bagatelle are one of the big influences on U2 back in their early days.
It was actually, it was actually great to hear that. When we were starting out, believe it or not, the John Woods from Polygram, U2 were in trying to get a deal off Polygram, and they said if they were given a chance, they could be as big as Bagatelle.
Wow.
If they'd only listened, they might have been as big as us, Just kidding, guys.
And of course, you guys as well have shared the stage with many big artists. Bob Marley, John Denver, you've done them all. Who's been your favourites?
Bob Marley.
Absolutely Bob Marley.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, that was more than a gig. It was like a happening. It was incredible.
Yeah.
Everything visually, colourful, it was incredible. He died actually about 2 or 3 months after that.
Yeah, it was just an open air gig in a park, a football stadium in Dublin, Sunday afternoon, and we went out to hear the sound check. Yeah. And you'd just be enthralled with all like the harmonies, the colours. It's just to see a legend and the songs themselves. It was just hair on your arms. You know,
It's
just
incredible.
Oh wow.
But the other thing is the sound they got in Dalymount Park for a live gig. You know, they sometimes on live outdoor gigs, the sound suffers a bit because it's like a huge open space. There's nothing to trap the sound and hold it in. Not that day. The sound was impeccable. You could hear everything, even the dum 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 dum. You know, the way they everything was just absolutely had it. It just was, as I say, it was like a happening more than a gig. It's incredible.
We got to a stage, I remember, when the day of Bob Marley's gig, we were down in the underground, where the players' tunnels are. And there was a guy at the time, and we said to Pat, when are we ever going to get a chance like this? And he said, you just listen to your manager and do the right thing, and someday you'll be up there. And eventually we were the first Irish band to fill the RDS before U2 or anybody else. And we did Self-Aid in Dublin, where there were 38,000 people singing Summer in Dublin, Second Violin, these all, you know, that was a hell of a buzz too, for us to do it on our own.
And of course, I mean, you're massive abroad as well in America, because the Americans love you as well, don't you? You've done some massive gigs across there.
It's one of these bands, it's one of these bands that we get, see royalty statements, and you get ringtones from Australia and stuff, and from, like, you know, but the main thing that we can play, we've played in excess of 40 states in America, and you'd never see us on the Billboard charts. But we can fill Gaelic Park in Chicago or New York or anywhere. Because a lot of those people have been living there for 20 years and grew up with Bagatelle. So now our audience in America is half second generation Irish and mostly Americans.
A lot of people in the early 80s and late 70s, when things were very bad in Ireland, you know, economically, when they actually went abroad, they brought us, and not only us, but different bands, Irish bands they liked and that, they brought them with them in the suitcases and introduced us to, all over the world really, to a huge audience, and we owe it to them as well, because
Should have brought us with them in their suitcases.
I wish the hell they had. This is the guest list.
So there we go, from the archives, great clip there of Liam Riley and Ken Doyle, of course, from Bagatelle. And of course our thoughts are with Ken and Jim, Bagatelle's manager, and all Liam's family, of course, as well. That's all we have time for on The Big Show this week. Thank you for joining us. Thank you to all the guests. And of course, we'll see you back here same time next week.
See you then.
Bye-bye.